Please don't forget subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to get notified of new daily videos.
I was 28, full of ambition, and on the cusp of realizing a lifelong dream. My childhood friend, Arthur Davies, and I had poured 5 years of our lives, and every spare penny, into building a cutting-edge AI-driven analytics platform. We just secured a critical $150,000 seed funding round, enough to get our prototype to market and hire our first team. Arthur, with his charming swagger and supposed business acumen, was the designated CFO. I handled the tech. Then the bottom fell out. Weeks after the funding hit our account, Arthur became distant. Meetings were missed, emails ignored. I started noticing unusual expenditures, not for development, but for things like a new luxury condo, a high-end sports car, and even a collection of avant-garde art pieces. When I confronted him, he dismissed my concerns, citing personal investments and future growth strategies he couldn't disclose yet. The alarm bells were deafening, but I wanted to trust my friend. I shouldn't have. One morning, I logged into our corporate accounts. They were empty. $80,000 of our seed funding, gone. Arthur had systematically siphoned it off into a complex web of shell corporations and offshore accounts. He'd effectively gutted our startup, leaving me with nothing but a mountain of vendor debt and a shattered dream. He vanished shortly after, resurfacing only on social media, gloating about his newfound success and lavish lifestyle, funded entirely by my hard work and our stolen future. I contacted the police, but they viewed it as a complex civil matter, a business dispute. Lawyers told me the costs would quickly outweigh any potential recovery. I was devastated, broke, and furious. Arthur had built his empire on my ruin, and it felt like there was nothing I could do. But they didn't know me, and they certainly didn't know my secret weapon, my past. Before starting the company, I'd interned for years in financial forensics and regulatory compliance at a major audit firm. I'd spent countless hours learning the intricate dance of shell companies, international tax treaties, and the obscure, often overlooked federal reporting requirements that could unravel the most sophisticated financial schemes. I knew Arthur's elaborate offshore structure was designed to liquidate and disappear within 2 years, just shy of most statutes of limitations for this type of fraud. He was good, but I knew his Achilles heel. My plan was meticulous. I spent weeks anonymously digging into his public records, social media, and any financial filings I could access. I found a subtle pattern, a series of small, seemingly innocuous transfers from one of his shell companies to a personal account in a different jurisdiction, each individually too small to flag. But cumulatively, they exceeded a specific threshold under an obscure federal anti-money laundering regulation. This regulation required a specific, proactive declaration that Arthur, in his hubris, had clearly ignored, banking on its obscurity. Using a secure VPN and burner emails, I compiled an anonymous tip. I didn't just tell them Arthur stole money. I cited the exact regulation, the specific dates and amounts of the innocuous transfers, and even the ID numbers of the shell corporations involved. I framed it as a potential systemic failure in reporting by financial institutions, hinting that a deeper, forensic audit of Arthur's entire financial network would reveal a pattern of noncompliance. I sent it directly to a specialized federal financial crimes unit, knowing they had the resources and jurisdiction that local police lacked. I also, quite accidentally, mentioned Arthur's new, opulent address during a casual conversation with a former mutual acquaintance, knowing full well it would eventually make its way to the right ears and corroborate other details. The trap was set. All I could do was wait. Months later, the whispers started. First, rumors that Arthur's new ventures were faltering. Then, an anonymous email from a source within the financial sector confirmed the feds were sniffing around. Arthur's lavish social media posts abruptly stopped. He disappeared from all public platforms. Then came the news, a federal indictment. Charges of fraud, embezzlement, and multiple counts of tax evasion and money laundering. His assets, including the luxury condo, the sports car, and the art collection, were all frozen and subsequently seized. The media coverage was brutal, detailing how he defrauded investors and ruined our startup. He tried to claim I was a disgruntled former employee, but the meticulously compiled evidence, triggered by my precise tip, pointed directly to him. The consequences for Arthur were catastrophic. He was disbarred from any future financial roles, faced massive fines, and was ultimately sentenced to 5 years in federal prison. His reputation was utterly destroyed, and his life as a high-flying entrepreneur was over. I never got my full $80,000 back, but a small portion was recovered by the creditors of our failed startup, offering a semblance of closure. It was a long, dark period of my life, but seeing Arthur's world crumble, knowing I was the one who pulled the threads that unraveled his deceit, brought a profound sense of justice. He thought he was untouchable. He learned the hard way that some debts are paid in far more than just money. Arthur learned that day that some games aren't worth playing when your opponent knows the hidden rules. My satisfaction was complete. His ruin was absolute.
If you enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up button to like it. And please do subscribe to support the channel.